very good morning to all of you. Let us see the second part of the chapter stress physiology, and in this part we will learn about the biotic stresses, xenobiotic stresses, types of stresses and mechanism of drought tolerance. Here what is meant by biotic stresses? Biotic means the living, okay, and biotic stress that occurs as a result or damage done to the plant by the other living organisms such as the bacteria, virus, fungi, parasites, beneficial and harmful insect, weed and cultivated or native plant. That is known as the biotic stress. Here the damage caused by these various living and non-living organism or agent can appear very similar. Even with the close observation, accurate diagnosis can be difficult here of the biotic stress, because there are the different living organisms, they can be affect on the plant, and due to that this stress can be occurred, and that is known as the biotic stress. Second one is the xenobiotic stress. Here xenobiotic metabolism is the biochemical modification of pharmaceutical substances or xenobiotic biotics are respectively by the living organism, usually through the specialized enzymatic system, and due to that enzymatic system that maybe the drug metabolism often convert the lipophilic chemical compound into the more radially exerted hydrophilic products. Okay, the rate of metabolism determines the duration and intensity of that drug pharmacology action, and xenobiotics, they are the metabolized into the different two phases. The major reaction of phase first, as it is the cytochrome P450s, and in phase second it is the hydroxylated species are conjugated with a variety of hydrophilic compounds such as the glucuric acid, sulfate or glutathione. In this way, with the help of these two phases, the specific stress are occurred here, and due to that xenobiotic may that be occur some biological effects such as the pharmacological responses, gene toxicity, immunological reactions and cancer, okay, etc. etc. This is about the xenobiotic stresses. Third one is the type of stresses. There we know that there are the different type of stresses, but we are learn here only two major type, that is nothing but the salinity and drought stresses. In which first one is the salinity. Salinity, we know that when the saline soil is there, and due to that saline soil the different stresses can be occurred on the plant, that is known as the salinity stress. Salinity is one of the most serious factor limiting the productivity of agricultural crop, and which adverse the effect on the germination, plant vigor and crop yield. Salinization affect the many irrigated area due to the brackish water. High salinity affect the plant in several ways. Okay, there are the different ways are there. First one is water stress, iron toxicity, nutritional oxidative stresses, alteration of the metabolic processes, membrane disorganization, reduction of the cell division and expansion, genotoxicity, and these effects reduce the plant growth, development and survival. Due to the salinity, all these conditions are occurred in the plant, and due to that the plant growth is directly or indirectly affected. This salt stress, that may be the physiological droughtness, okay, this salt stress in the soil, that may be the physiological drought to the plant. Excessive toxicity of the Na and Cl ions to the cell, high uptake of the Na and Cl ions, calcium, okay, and reduce the osmotic potential of the plant, okay. Nutrient imbalance in the plant. When the physiological drought in the plant is there, due to that the reduced osmotic potential of the plant can be takes place. When The excessive toxicity of the sodium and calcium ion can be takes place into the cell. Due to that, the disruption of the cell organelles and their metabolism can be takes place. Different cell organelles are there in the cell and they can be disturbed. After that, the affect the plant growth and lastly decrease the plant yield. Okay, and due to the high uptake of the sodium and calcium chlorine ions, the nutrient imbalance in the plant can be takes place. Okay, in this way the salt stress they can be directly or indirectly affect on the plant growth. The various environmental program carried through the world estimate that of approximately 20% of agricultural land and 50% of cropland in the world is salt stressed, and hence the existing soil salinity is the large confirmed for food security. And increase in the level of water soluble salt like NaCl, Na2CO3 and CaCl are mainly due to the different practices like irrigation result in the soil salinity. Soil salinity result in reduce in the biomass and indirectly the production of the plant by affecting the important physiological and biochemical processes of the plant. Okay, in this way this is about the effect of the salinity. Second one is the drought stress. Drought leading a water stress is a major problem in reducing the agricultural productivity, especially in the tropical, semi-arid and arid region of the world. Water deficient result from the low and erratic rainfall, poor soil water storage, and when the rate or water transpiration exceed water uptake. At that time, this stress is occurred. Drought leading the cellular water deficient result here. Okay, and due to that, the transpiration and different physiological processes are affected due to the drought stress. The cellular water deficiency or cellular water deficient result in the concentration of the solute, loss of turgor, change in cell volume, disruption of the water potential gradient, change in also the membrane integrity, denaturation of the protein, and several physiological and molecular components they are affected by the drought stress. Let us see the mechanism of drought stress, and here in this there are different points are there, in which first one is the drought accept. It is defined as the ability of plant to complete its life cycle before supply of water in the soil is depleted. Okay, it is the ability. Drought escape is before coming the drought, that plant having the ability to complete its life cycle before supply of water in the soil is depleted, and from dormant seeds before the onset of the dry season. These plants are known as the that are known as the drought or drought by rapid development. It is the specific condition before the drought condition the plant can be adjusts itself to grow, that is known as the drought escape. After that, drought avoidance. It is ability of a plant to maintain the relatively high tissue water potential despite a shortage of soil moisture. Okay, and drought avoidance is performed by maintenance of turgor through the root grow deeper into the soil, stomatal control of transpiration, and by reduction of the water loss through the reduced epidermal, that is the reduced surface by smaller and thicker leaves. Okay, here thicker leaves are there. In this way, the drought avoidance is nothing but the ability of plant to avoid that drought by maintaining itself, or that convert itself to phases or to avoid that drought. That condition are nothing but the root grow deeper into the soil, stomatal control of the transpiration. Due to the stomatal control, more and more water are present into the plant body or stored into the or control the transpiration rate. By reduction of the water loss through the reduce the epidermal activity, that is the reduce the surface of smaller and thicker leaves. Okay, these are the different activity that is controlled by the plant itself to avoid the drought condition, that is known as the drought avoidance. Next one is the mechanism of drought tolerance. Here drought tolerance, it is the ability to withstand water deficient with low tissue water potential. In a low water condition they can be tolerated. Drought tolerance is the maintenance of turgor through the osmotic adjustment, a process which is induces solute accumulation in the cell and increase in the elasticity in the cell and decrease in the cell size. This is about the drought tolerance. Okay, they are having ability to tolerate that drought, and that can be produced or that can be evolved in that plant itself, that is known as the drought tolerance. There are certain effects of the drought stress. They are as follow. First one is the effect on the growth, reduction in the turgor pressure due to the drought stress, and due to that the cell size will be the smaller. Second, effect on photosynthesis. Photosynthesis decreases due to the disruption of pigment system first or photosystem first, stomatal closure, and decrease in the electron transport also takes place due to the drought stress. Decrease in nucleic acid and nuclear or nucleic acid and proteins, protease activity, free amino acid, RNase activities, RNase hydrolysis, DNA content fall down. These are the different effect of the drought stresses. Effect on nitrogen metabolism, nitrate reductase activity, and nitrate reductase activity is insensitive, okay, due to the drought stress. And last one is the effect on the carbohydrate metabolism. Here the loss of starch, increase in simple sugar, carbohydrate translocation is decreases. These are the different activities due to the drought stress in the carbohydrate metabolism. In this way, these are about the different activities, different effect of the drought stresses. Here I think you are understand these points. Thank you very much.